ちの行方を照らすため光よ明日を導け僕らが紡ぐ果てない旅を今日も行動を震わせ確かめてる空の青さに答えてくれた君の心に触れながら一人じゃないから胸に抱いた希望を掲げ共に走り出してゆける諦めないことを強さと呼んで星に行かれて一つになった瞬間を今も立ち上がる歌に思うよ君と響き合う僕らの祈りのために全てを超えて Blazar With the Blazar 光よ明日を導け
Hello, this is Skipping the Queue. My name is Red. I am joined by Mel.
This kid is 30 on 30 feet tall.
This is true. Also joined by Brad.
They still don't know?
They still don't know. You know what? I was so overwhelmed by the realization that Gento didn't know something that I failed to quite reckon with the fact that the family still don't know something. There are insane narrative choices in this movie.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
That have been laser targeted at us. I'm so happy. I had a great time.
I'm glad that we 10 months for this.
10 months to find out that his family still don't... Okay, so we watched the Ultraman Blazar movie at last. We have finished. This is the finale of our first season of Skipping the Queue.
Finally, closing the book on our first series of Ultraman. I hate this browser I have, which always goes to like the worst thing. It like doesn't go to Google when I go to search for Google, whatever. Anyway, just confirming for the audience, the movie is Ultraman Blazar, the movie, Tokyo Kaiju Showdown.
Of Ultimate Destiny.
Of Ultimate Destiny, yes.
Of Ultimate Destiny. Also notable that this is our first actual normal Ultraman movie we've watched.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the other ones have been like, we've shopped the IP out to someone else who's like actually making a big budget movie instead of like, you know, the usual in-house yearly movie.
Mm-hmm. So this is like an hour. This is an hour-long movie with a 15-minute recap at the beginning. It is.
I almost put in the chat when I was watching the movie. Yeah, I can just skip the first 12 minutes. It's fine. But then I was like, you know what? I'll let them. I'll let them figure that out.
The first 12 minutes are so essential because two things are very clear from that first 12 minutes. First of all, the bracelet shows up before Gento's kid. Like they do the scene at night when he's leaving in the middle of the night before we ever hear Jun speak in that.
Well, yeah, I guess they don't show like the two-parter where we actually meet his kid. Not the two-parter, but the episode with like the
yeah, it wasn't important enough, but him leaving in the night was.
Well, children are only important, based on the impact they have on the father.
True, absolutely.
Since the son.
That is absolutely completely true. So do we want to dive straight into this movie, or do we have some setup before I do like a I'm gonna wing a summary, I guess.
I guess wing a summary first.
Okay, so
since you know the movie's so fresh in your mind.
The movie is so fresh in my mind. I watched it like 3 hours ago.
Nice. 4
hours ago, more like. I played some Apex in between. I'm back on Apex. I've succumbed to the Apex feeling. It's better. I play Apex with a friend of mine called Ryan. He has been trying. He has a much worse. Thank you. Thank you, Brad. I will use this GIF.
There's fantastic. A hop-on GIF for everything.
Of course there is.
I like the multiplayer one.
Hop-on Melty is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this friend of mine has succumbed to his League of Legends addiction. And so I'm like, he's been telling me, hey, do you want to play some League? I'm like, no, we have to find a compromise here. So I've gone back to Apex. Apex is good. Anyway.
You should play
Ultraman.
Marvel Rivals.
I know. That's not true. That's not a true thing that you just said. I might one day, but not should. Never should. So Ultraman Blazar, the movie, the the Kaiju Showdown in Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
Tokyo Showdown. Comes off the end of Ultraman Blazar the show, and we have kind of reset to status quo. But now Haruno is in charge of the was it GDF or GGF?
GGF.
GGF. And they are mopping up a weird attack from a kaiju, like two kaiju at once that have different, they normally come from different biomes, and they're like, that's weird. And they look into what's in the area of the attack, and they're like, oh, there's a factory here for Necromass Limited. And I'm like, well, that's maybe that's the least evil sci-fi company name ever. Necromass.
Yeah, and then you get to watch the Scarred crew going through the most late 2000s third-person shooter catwalk in an industrial setting level.
Yes.
Oh, you do.
As they shoot at monsters.
It's weird because my go-to, because they're dressed up in they're dressed up in the tactical stuff, but also they're shooting little guys that are as tall as them. I'm like, they're Marines in Halo, and I'm Master Chief.
Well, remember, Gento did the Halo jump in episode 1.
Gento did do the first ever Halo jump in episode 1 of Blazar. So we then move into the investigation, and the company Necromass is headed up by just the nicest guy that's ever lived. He's a perfect dad. He's
his wife died, and in fact, the fact he's a good dad is part of his public image. I was like, it's
part of it. He's the ideal father. Was this information relevant to the investigation? What's going on here? And then
this guy saw what happened in the news and is like, I need to fix my image. I don't want to get got. But they do a scene that's just the Pro ZD sketch of evil guy is a really good dad, where he's yelling at his subordinates, screaming, you have to deal with these amateurs. You have to. I don't care about ethics.
Specifically, the government regulators.
Yeah, you have to deal with these government regulators yourself. I won't stand for this. Get it sorted. And then he turns and sees his kid, and he's like, oh, hey, you got a big science, you got a science program thing going on. And I was like, this is the Pro CD skit.
But he's too busy with work, so he can't. He's too busy with
work. He's not he's not as good a dad as the guy from the Pro ZD Vine. Neither is Gento, but it is what it is. And then
but Gento's so reassuring to his son.
Gento is so reassuring to his son. Gento and Ami rock up. Or is it Emmy? Emmy, that's the one.
Not to be confused with the baby from Ultraman Rising, also called Emmy.
Yeah.
Listen.
See,
Ultraman needs new names. Ultraman needs some new fucking names.
Watch some guy named Ueno show up in
No, not another Ueno. I can't take 3 Uenos.
So the difference, I like here that we highlight the difference between Gento and our villain so far. Well, I guess secondary villain eventually, but
is that they both will not show up for their child's activities. It's just like their demeanor is the main difference, which makes one of them evil. And which
Well,
one
the thing
is good.
is, I have a counter argument.
Do you want to make that counter argument now?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the kid of the villain. First of all, let's get their names. I wrote it down. The dad's name is Ichiro Mabuse, and the son's name is Yuki.
Okay.
Yuki, like, we find this out later, but he has like his own room kind of where he stays at the workplace. He's still like he's like actually like talks to his dad, it seems like, and his dad has at least some interest in his stuff. So I would argue this may be a case like in Taro of like where we compare like the bad mom who's there versus the absent dad, where Gento is just completely absent compared
Gento is just not there completely.
Yeah.
He's not there enough to be as bad a dad as this dad.
Yes.
True. So yeah, we then have they have the discussion in the office where they're talking to the head of the company, and he's like, we've discovered magic gunk. And they're like, where did you find that? Oh, it was in Kaiju. It's in Kaiju cells. It makes things last forever. Like, Kaiju cells don't decay the way that humans do. We can be immortal. And they're like, well, hang on. That sounds like evil villain shit. And he's like, oh, come now. I'm not an evil villain. I'm a normal guy. I want to make this so that we can treat certain diseases better, you know. And he's clearly thinking about his dead wife, who this could have helped.
I've seen other TV shows before.
I've seen other TV shows before. Now, okay, I need to loop back right to the beginning, because I have also seen other TV shows before. And when Gento's kid is like, where's mom? She's not back yet. And Gento like has a look on his face like he knows what's up.
Yeah. Normally he does say, she took the day off, but she's not home. What's up with that?
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to say about this, because if he had anything to, it turns out that the reason he doesn't say anything about this is because it would be inconvenient for him to have to deal with this right now.
Yeah.
My reasoning was that he was just making bizarre choices based on a desire to keep a secret for a surprise later. And that's not what he's doing, because the surprise is being kept from Gento as well.
Yeah.
And
it is confusing, because that was also my thought throughout most of this movie, because like if you think he's just keeping a secret, that he's like in on a secret with Sadako, his wife, then the scene where like, which he posted,
I'm glad someone remembers his wife's name. It's not me.
Yeah, I know. I gotta do the part. The show doesn't remember either, for the record.
No.
I don't even know if they introduced it ever.
That's wife. That's her name.
Yeah.
Wife.
But you know, the scene where after the meeting,
she's treated worse than that laundry machine.
You know, yes. Yeah.
That laundry machine has more involvement in the narrative.
And is given a name.
And is given
on screen.
A name.
Yeah, because the scene after this where Gento gets a call from Jun, and Jun's like, oh, you never call, what's up? And then Jun is like actually like really scared about the fact that he's like home alone.
She's not back yet. I can't, and she's not picking up her phone. I don't know what's happening. And then Gento's just like,
I'll be home late.
Yeah.
I might not come home tonight. If you learn anything, let me know. And then it's just like, okay, I can hang up the phone now. I've done my job. And I thought this was bizarre because I was like, well, he's in on the surprise, but he doesn't think it's worth comforting his son and telling him that it's all okay. Your mum's fine. But he doesn't know, which means he's genuinely just like, kid, shut up. I'm busy.
Gento hangs up the phone, turns to his coworkers. God, I hope that house gets trampled by a kaiju.
It's so crazy. And
And then, so yeah, during that meeting with the company, all the screens around get hacked by a mysterious space alien. It's definitely a space alien.
This is so Bradcore.
It really is.
Of course it is.
They're like, we're the king of the universe, and humanity is ruining the Earth. And it's you there. You, head of the company of Necromass, it's you specifically that's ruining everything with your cool immortality gunk that you found. You should get rid of that.
I think is the name.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, don't worry.
And, like, the screen's all wobbly and the voice is all high-pitched and stupid, like it's been through a really cheap filter.
Absolutely. And they're like, oh, there's gonna be a missile attack. The GGF missiles are gonna attack you if you don't do anything. And to demonstrate this, there is a genuine hack into the system, and the GGF launch some missiles unintentionally. They lose control of some of their missile launchers, and so the Scard's like, well, we got to do something about this. So they start shipping the CEO over to the place where they store the immortality gunk, and they're like, he's explaining along the way. He's like, this is like 2 minutes of concentrated, like, this bit's, we got themes, where it's like, he's like, I wanted it to be something for good, but really it was, the truth is that the military industrial complex is like, they offer you a deal, It
is really funny that this movie does have the quote-unquote alien say verbatim, you are a cog in the military-industrial complex.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I don't know where you learnt that word, little kid.
It's an alien, isn't it?
Good on you. Yeah, it's an alien.
He's getting bored at, he's watching Hassan on the other tab when he's alone in his science project.
He so is. Oh, man. But and the CEO is like, well, you get a deal on this stuff, thinking it's like, well, this is gonna be a good thing eventually, and then because it's it's not just you, it's not just your word that puts a stop to everything. So inertia takes over, and suddenly you're making weapons. And so that's what a company is. And then they arrive, they try to shut things off, and it doesn't go well, and instead it all explodes along with all the matter.
Because they get missile bombed, they have to evacuate.
They get shot with missiles, and they have to evacuate. It explodes. Now they've been storing this stuff with all the kaiju, the dead kaiju matter, because that's what Necromass does. It disposes of kaiju and researches their remains. Skip,
like that was an arc.
Yeah. It's very Skip-like, but well, no, it's not actually Skip. Is it Skip that's doing that bit? And
it is Skip, yeah.
Yeah. And whatever it's always 3 letters. It's always 3 letters, and one of them is F. But that's not the one doing it. In Arc, it turns out that when you exert a lot of pressure onto the immortality gunk, it fuses with everything. And it creates a new kaiju from the dead kaiju. We have got a unified kaiju here as it erupts from the building, and it chases down the CEO.
Do you want to know what they call it?
Yeah, what is it called?
It's called Gongilgan, which is subtitle the demonic carcass kaiju.
The demonic carcass kaiju. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good epithet.
Yeah, it portmanteaus them.
Mm-hmm. Good. Gongilgan. Is it Gongilgan?
Yeah.
Gongilgan follows the car that they're all fleeing in. It wants the CEO dead for some reason. And then they arrive at they're going for the anti-immortality gunk which they discovered, and if you shoot that into the thing, it dissipates the whole process, and so it won't be an immortal kaiju anymore. You can kill it. The problem is they get there and a corporate spy has stolen the thing,
and also
they need.
there's a public broadcast of the aliens doing it, and it's coming from inside the building. Whoa!
It's coming from inside the building, from what looks like a children's playroom. And there, in front of the camera, is Yuki in like a costume, doing the voice and saying like, yeah, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna destroy the world of grown-ups, I mean humans. And then, you know, he flees, he gets to the roof along with the thing. The guy with the corporate spy with the thing also gets to the roof because he's trying to escape with the thing. And
it's really funny when they find the corporate guy, he pulls out a gun and runs away, and Gento's like, man, I just want to deal with Kaiju, as he pulls out his own gun.
Yeah, this is not my job. They all arrive at the roof, they all have a showdown, the corporate spy gets got by the Kaiju, as does the helicopter coming to collect him, and then the kid gets got by the Kaiju as well, as like absorbed into the Kaiju.
First he gives a Kingdom Hearts villain speech.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
About how like, oh, this the world of grown-ups is corrupt and must be destroyed.
Yeah, and then he gets absorbed into the Kaiju.
Tono pill, to be honest.
Yeah, the Kaiju has the emotions now, and is going to go destroy the Diet Building, because that's where this child sort of feels
the epitome
that the heart
of adulthood.
Yeah. The epitome of adulthood is the Diet Building.
It's really funny that like Henri is like, oh yeah, this is what was her line? Let me just yeah. She's like, oh yeah, he's going to the Diet Building to crush the centerpiece of the corrupt world, in his view.
In his view.
Yeah.
I have in Minecraft.
Whoa, hold on, we might be getting too close to saying something with this movie.
Careful. So yeah, and then they rock up. Earth Garon arrives, having been repaired from the first fight because it got wrecked a little.
Yes.
And my friend Earth Garon gets stuck into the fight with the Kaiju, and then there is a rescue scene.
Yeah.
Where they have to rescue this kid.
It is funny because jetpacks are just like a known quantity in this world, at least as far as the military concerns. That Gento's like, all right, this operation, we're going to use jetpacks, and it's just really funny.
Yeah,
hearing that, like a serious
that's normal.
Military. Yeah. But yeah, Emi, Yasunobu, and Gento do like an operation to like retrieve Yuki from inside the Kaiju.
Yeah, and so Gento dives in through the head vents, which is where all the heat gets vented out when it does a beam shot from its mouth, and retrieves the child. Emi and Yasunobu have to shoot.
We forgot first the best line in the entire movie.
I want to get through the summary,
okay.
and then we can actually like hit stuff, because otherwise we're doing the whole movie.
That's true.
Gento pulls out the kid from the Kaiju, straps the kid to him, and flies out Zhao Yun style, and then turns into Blazar. There's a big fight. There's more big fights. They wreck the Diet Building a little. And then they find out what they have to do. They have to pull off the antennae and then shoot. Emi has to shoot the roots of them, and that'll whatever it does, it like gets rid of the effect of the immortality, and then Blazar and Earth Garon can just beam it to death, and they do that. Well done, congratulations. And then they celebrate. Well, first of all, the CEO has to tell his kid, he has to be like, no, you shouldn't be sorry. I should be sorry.
Then he's like, I'll give up being a CEO even. And then the kid's like, well, you don't have to do that.
You can just be my dad.
Yeah, don't worry.
Nothing has to change.
Yeah.
You'd be sad if you stopped being a CEO. It's okay, I have Blazar now.
Really, the message of this movie is use your PTO hours.
Absolutely. Everyone should. And then celebration time.
Yeah.
The team Scard goes to celebrate. They go to Gento's house, where Jun, Gento's wife, and Gento have all cooked like yakiniku barbecue for the gang. And
this
they're all
made me so fucking hungry.
Yeah.
They were all talking about like, well, you know, what is life? Because they were like, because the kid got extracted from the kaiju, and then the kaiju was like, oh, you know, it was crying out still in
it
Yuki's
felt like
voice.
it kept the lingering will.
Yes, lingering William.
Lingering William.
of Yuki, even after Yuki was removed, but without the actual person there, it kind of went berserk.
I can't wait to eventually fight Spirit of Mother William. In Armored Core 4 Answer. And it like went berserk, and so they're like, well, it was trying to copy emotions, but it didn't have a soul. You need a soul for life. And then they're all playing around, and
and Emmy's like, yeah, you saw the nature documentary, yes.
Yeah, and Jun rocks up and is like, I'm gonna be a big brother, and Gento's like, that's right, you're gonna be a big what? Excuse me? And Gento's wife, who has a name and I will never remember, rocks up and is like, yeah, I'm probably gonna have another kid. And Gento is like, I'm so happy about that for some reason. I clearly don't care about my children, but I'm very happy. And he did not know about this when he was telling his son, listen, shut up. I might not be coming home from work tonight. So, like, you're just gonna have to sit tight and wait for your mum. Listen.
But don't worry, we got the group photo at the end.
We got the group photo at the end, and then the movie ends, and that's Blazar. Blazar's done.
Yeah.
Family.
No, you see, it's okay because in the final battle, the bracelet and the wedding ring glowed again.
Yeah, they did.
It did.
They sure did.
At the beginning of this movie, he breaks the bracelet. He gives it to Jun, and Jun is holding it he doesn't even have the bracelet at the end. The bracelet that he broke. Jun is holding the bracelet.
But the will remains.
The will remains.
I feel like if I was to be the devil's advocate, most charitable read of the movie is like, oh, maybe they know in their heart because you can see it glowing. But I'm also like, you know,
they don't
come
know.
on.
They do not know.
Like usually there's like when there is like the identity reveal, it's usually like, you know, like we've seen the Ultra 7, right? Like it's a big deal when the identity is revealed. So we would have seen it, but clearly no. And they're not doing the cougar thing. They're not doing the cougar thing where like he's just going around telling people, and it's like hang on, are you supposed to be telling people like that? Yeah. I forgot that was a part of cougar.
It's so funny how much he's just out in the open just telling people, yeah, I'm cougar.
Yeah,
he tells the guy who runs the shop.
I think it's mostly just like the inertia of like people wouldn't believe you're cougar, and that's how they managed to quote unquote maintain
it's really funny. He's like talking to the guy in charge of the shop, being like, yeah, I've sewed the cougar symbol into my jacket because I'm cougar. And he's like, what's a cougar? And he's like, forget it. But so yeah, if it sounds like we didn't like this movie, I had a great time with this movie. Just maybe not engaged with it on its own terms.
Yeah. Can we talk about the best line in the movie?
So yeah, we can. So this movie is about fatherhood, which means that the core scene of this movie is when Gento and the other dad are talking to each other about being dads, which you know, includes, you know, like the dad, the CEO dad is like, he's only like 12. Does he really need me that much? And Gento's like, they grow up quicker than you think. And what does he say, Mel?
He's just like, kids don't normally grow 50 feet.
Yeah.
They don't normally grow 50 feet tall. And Gento just kind of looks around the room like, well, you got me there.
Yeah.
It's so funny the way like the dad is clearly like distraught at the circumstance, and Gento tries to like humor, like he tries to humor being like a fellow dad in a way that doesn't actually feel genuine.
No.
He doesn't have any qualities of being a good father, which means you can't have him try to tell someone about being a good dad. He just has to be like, you should be a better dad. You should be more involved. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
I will not reflect on this.
No, absolutely not. I will say, I think I like this more than the ending that the
I
TV
do
show
also think
gives.
so. And I will say that
this is much more about the things that Blazar was trying to be about.
yeah, it's not like, oh, by the way, we solved the conspiracy with Future.
Yeah, we solved the conspiracy and we got peace with aliens. That was not what Blazar was about.
Yeah.
That was not what Blazar was about. This is what Blazar's about.
Yeah.
Fatherhood. Just,
Now-
it's not... It's kind of stupid about it.
Do I think this show is made by a bunch of middle-aged men that are trying to, you know, lie to themselves about priorities in life? Maybe a little bit.
Perhaps they're like, it's okay. It's okay that I never see my children. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm still a dad to them.
I didn't realize until you said it on Blue Sky, but it is really funny that you see the bracelet before you see John.
It's so stupid. When I saw the bracelet, I posted on Blue Sky, so because I was like, I was like, we have not had him interacting with his child yet, but he has snuck out of his house to be like, yeah, I'm Blazar. I've got the bracelet. That makes me a dad. It's yeah. I don't know.
Honestly, kind of shocking that Gento would have fucked his wife during the course of Blazar, because I got zero indication that he ever does that.
When did he do that? He had no time. God damn.
I think we need to get them on Maury.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, he's got so much time with his crew, and then, you know, he's having his affair with Blazar.
Yeah.
And it's like, when's he hanging out with his wife? Never.
He invited his coworkers back to his place, and, like, he would not fucking do that.
No, here's the thing. He would, because you get the scene where his wife and son are in the background in the kitchen while he's sitting with his co-workers. They're like far out of mind, and he's like concentrating on the question of life with his boys.
I wonder what it means to give life to something, he ponders. I will not reflect on this further.
I will not reflect on this.
I do feel like the cheap heartstrings of the end where he starts like crying over the celebration still got me, but it also is like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, it just doesn't actually make sense given like everything.
I think when he started crying was the moment where I was like, Blazar's okay, and I don't know if I can give it anything beyond that.
It was, when they're teasing him for crying, I'm like, this could have hit.
It's like it's a well done scene that maybe wasn't earned.
Mm-hmm. I've just realized, because they were arguing about where life comes from, and then his wife comes on and says, I'm pregnant. That means that Blazar concludes by asserting that life is stored in the soul is stored in the balls.
Is that the episode title?
That's the episode title. The soul is stored in the balls. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't come from a woman. It doesn't come from the wife.
It's you know what, credit where it's due. Doesn't go, oh, woman, the source of life, like Victory Gundam pilled.
No,
It's a different kind of
that would be too generous to women. They'd be too involved.
Yeah, I mean, Blazar's women in the team are at least characters. It's just like,
true.
You know,
It's
not
just his wife.
not
It's
his
just
wife.
her.
When like him being a dad is like a selling point of the show, ostensibly.
It is absolutely, everything is explained by just going, the people making this are never at home and are always at work, and
It
never
really
see their
feels
wife,
like
never
it.
see their children, and they just feel kind of bad about it and need the
I do
catharsis,
actually
need the fake catharsis
think-
of being a good dad.
I do actually think I only know Satsuko's name because I looked up on the wiki. I don't actually think it comes up on the show at all.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I think someone would need to correct me on that, but
It
don't
might
remember
have
any.
it might have come up like once, like
Yeah.
in like that two-parter.
Yeah, I would assume maybe there's a name drop there, and then from beyond that, maybe they're just not on screen enough.
Yeah.
See, you know
And
what's
they
funny?
have
Ju-
to name Jun. They have to name Jun every time he's on screen, because otherwise you wouldn't recognize him because he's a different actor.
at least Jun has the Gaviton episode, right? But his wife doesn't really have anything.
Nope.
No.
I watching that 12-minute recap at the start too made me go like, oh man, Blazar had some really fucking good episodes. That second half really,
Yeah.
when the plot starts to happen, but also they're like too afraid to have it be like too big a part of the show, so they just are like drip feeding this like overarching story that's not really working. Like, man,
you absolutely have
lost
to
it.
pick. You have to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are we feeling Gento is officially Ibuki pilled in terms of
Oh, absolutely.
Captains.
Him and Ibuki meeting up and being like, God, this is my guy. Or do you think they hate each other for the qualities they see of themselves in each other? Given that Gento is trying to dress down another bad dad in this movie.
that's
Ooh.
complicated.
I'm trying to think how Gento would handle that like vacation situation.
Yeah.
Oh, he would. He's absolutely the kind of person who's like not trying not to be on vacation.
Yeah.
Well, so is Ibuki.
Yeah, this is. They're aligning in my mind now. Yeah. The main draw of the big movies, the kaiju fights. They had a couple of big kaiju fights. They had the opening fight, which was okay. They had the weird human-sized kaiju stuff going on.
Yeah.
Human-sized Tangular. I thought that was
Teganya,
creepy. I didn't Teganula. There you go.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Earth Garon doing some work.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Earth Garon shows up and I'm like, that's my guy. I love Earth Garon.
I love when they do the pose of the Earth Garon, just like, if I recall, he just tips over.
We get rule of
Yes.
threes where like Blazar tries to do 2 attempts at like
His pose.
his pose, and like the first time is like during the first battle. He like after the battle's done, Blazar tries to do the pose and then Garon powers down and falls over. And the second time, Blazar poses right after transforming in front of like the diet building and gets knocked over.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't until like the battle is like over at the end of the day where he's able to do the proper pose at the end.
I think maybe the best bit of this movie, and this hits the best because it has been like nearly a year, is the bit where he first transforms and he's just kind of peeking out from behind the building, making his little sounds, and then appears from off screen with a flying knee to the head of one of the
really
kaiju,
good.
and I'm like, hell yeah, Blazar's back. I quite like Blazar himself.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized how much I missed the ooh noises during fight sequences.
Mm-hmm. His weird grunts and
there's a nice caveman quality to the whole thing
Yeah.
that I do find myself missing in other Ultra fights.
I'll talk about it in my run back, but that's definitely a deliberate thing on their part.
Yeah.
for Blazar.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a uniqueness to Blazar, specifically as an Ultraman, which is cool.
While we're on action sequences, I do think we have to rip out one of this thing's weird little dangly bits and then shoot the open wound with our ridiculous needle anti-kaiju formula dart.
Yasunobu just like figured it out like in like 10 minutes on the table, which is funny. Made these super bullets.
I mean that's Ultraman, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying as a detractor. It's just like a funny comment, but I do like the final shot is like a combined effort of like the 3 different parts where you have Blazar and Earth Garon working together, and also you have Emi Emi with Yasunobu doing like the last shot with the gun.
Yeah.
Emi on Yasunobu's shoulders.
Yeah. And she says, "Oh, go straight back to hell." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, Abby is cool."
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the fights in this movie. I think they've got it here. Obviously,
Obviously, it's
presumably they've got good budget for the movie.
Yeah, production wise, is obviously part of the show's production, but because it's a movie, they're able to go a little bit above. And the show still looks sick. It's just they're going movie.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, because this honestly just feels like, it's a really high quality, I guess budget wise version of a regular episode drawn out to movie length. Is that normally what these feel like?
Yeah. That's why I said that this is the first normal one we saw, because this is the movie as part of the show's production pipeline, obviously with a higher budget, but still part of the production pipeline movie. That's the default for Ultraman movies. You get a new one every year that's tied into the new show.
And I'm forgetting, are these theatrically released?
Yes.
Or are these...
Yeah.
They are? Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's... Are they theatrically, released with other stuff as well?
I'm not sure in the case of,
is this a solo thing?
I'd have to check for the Ultraman ones. I do know for Toei stuff, there's always, Sentai and Kamen Rider movies are usually double feature, with Sentai usually being a shorter movie. And
Toei is my reference because of Precure.
Yeah, Toei has just a history of just a bunch of double features. I remember correctly,
the Dragon Ball movies.
Yep, also Digimon movies also play with other movies.
True.
But I also don't know with Subaraya, just because they're they basically only make Ultraman, and I don't know how that ties in with other stuff.
I have a note for Subaraya. And it's to take don't take every leaf out of Toei's book. Don't do that.
I do wonder.
The one leaf I would take from Toei's book is I would not make these movies the finale of the show.
Yeah.
I think that's weird.
I think
that's a weird vibe.
I do get that, and I think in the pre-10s era, that was more the norm, where you get the movie in the middle of the show when they were doing 50 episode shows. And you get some exceptions, like Ultraman Cosmos got a bunch of weird movies, but Dinah and Mebius, for example, they both got mid-show movies. It's just more when you get to the 10s where they're only doing episodes half a year that the movies start to become post-season.
I guess it does make sense to tide people over with it.
Yeah, it's
just
how it falls.
It's a pipeline. Yeah, it's just a shame that production setup means that they kind of feel like they have to be set after the show.
Yeah.
Because because that means you have to, you can't have the Ultraman go away. You have to stop doing that.
Well, of course not. They have to show up in crossovers, right?
They have to show up in crossovers now. And 2, you can't actually have the main character fuck off either, really. Maybe they do, but when you've got a movie like this to show off, to do fan service with, you can't. There are some swings you can't take anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we still have
I do think it's really unfortunate that watching all of these, there is kind of in the back of my mind, well, could this final episode of this TV show have gone harder had this team not been we have ideas for the movie that we want to put there?
Yeah.
That's always going to be a weird split of effort in my head that I'm going to have to...
Yeah.
I don't like that I have to ponder that when watching either the movie or the end of the TV show.
If the plot of Blazar was about Scarred the second half of the show was about if you just tone down the plot a little bit to be a little less high stakes and make it about this company, and you had the second half of the show being about Gento versus this CEO dad, and you could actually get into the dad stuff a little more. I don't know. I think to as much as they can. But.
I think it'll be interesting because we're obviously a long ways off from there, but it'll be interesting how we feel about the other earlier 10 shows that precede this that sort of have the formula established.
What is it? The new generation? Is that what it's
generation.
called?
Ginga
new
onwards.
Generation.
somehow New Generation is still ongoing, the longest consecutively running era of Ultraman, because it's gone on for over a decade. But yeah, because like,
yeah,
what a indicative like silent damnation of modern franchises.
in
a way.
New Generation still going.
Yeah,
Still trucking.
But like yeah, because like when we get to those shows, we're also gonna be watching like we're not gonna be waiting like 10 months to watch the finale movie, and that might change how we. But I mean, it's not like we'll still have like always think about how like the finale of the show feels compared to like watch a movie. But I also think like we'll be like going straight into the movies from the shows presumably, so that'll also affect how we experience them. Which is probably how like for the older shows at least how most people experience them these days. But you know. Obviously, it impacts how the shows are as they're coming out, especially as fans. Especially because, like, you know...
Yeah.
It's, you know, as Toku fans, whether you're a Kamen Rider fan or an Ultraman fan, you're usually getting... Or even really your Precure fans, too. Not Toku, but, like, you know, tangential. You're, like, usually getting the episodes as they come out, and then you're waiting months for the movie that, you know, people in Japan are getting, like...
Yeah.
You know, midway.
We got the real experience.
Like, I think part of it for me is just even broader, less the movie thing and more like, I'm very cynical about how structured the release and production of these are. And I know that, like, when you do a yearly thing like this, you're going to have to, like, have a timeline like that to do it. But, like, the fact that, like, you could call, like, oh, there's not going to be an episode this week, or, oh, this one's going to be a recap because... That's how it's been for, like, the last decade or so. Like that has to be really limiting for what you can actually do.
And I mean, it's like, it's partly because, like, they are, after the 10s, they are, like, 49% owned by Bandai. And, like, they don't have the budget to make shows longer than 25 episodes, so they have to, like, figure out how to space out those episodes in a way that, like, meets the profit demands, etc. And like
the accursed Bandai.
And like I'm not gonna get too much into it because we'll get to her, but like when we get to like the earlier new gen shows, they're like working on like a basically really thin budget, and basically the entire history of new gen has been building up the resources to a decade to make more expensive looking shows.
I see. It's been a 10-year plan.
Yeah, like I talked about it, like, at some point in like the trivia in the podcast itself, but like it took them like a long time for the team to get like the production credibility to tell Bandai to fuck off so they could do what they wanted to Blazar, which, you know, we can talk about how well they executed on those things, but there was a lot of like they did feel like they were doing something different that wasn't necessarily tied to like normal expectations, and they felt like they had like the credibility to say, hey, back off, we're doing something interesting here as much as we can, so let us, kind of thing.
For budgetary reasons, this Ultraman only gets like 5 feet taller.
Oh my god, please can we get like, that Ultraman?
5 feet taller is just the right amount of awkward enough to like not be cool but be like freakishly huge in like a normal setting.
Absolutely. This is like that's like Scope Dog.
Yeah.
That's it's like, you know, only a little bit helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, like two strong dudes could, like, you know, stack on top of each other and fight that Ultraman.
Damn.
I'm trying to think of anything else I have to say about this movie. But, like, weirdly, like, I did, honestly, there's part of it, like, halfway through, and we were in and out pretty fast of this movie. I'd say partially because, like, holy shit, so much of that runtime does just get dedicated to that recap.
Yeah, it's like what, 60 minutes, and like, let's just check the file real quick.
I think it was like an hour 10, but like 12 of it is.
Yeah,
it's an hour 16 minutes and 12 minutes of recap. So it's like just about an hour and 4 minutes for the rest of the movie, and then there's credits, so that's like 4 minutes.
It's apparently about as much footage happening. Hold on a second. Go, Garad. Sorry, I was talking over you.
Oh yeah, I was like, when the corporate spy stuff was happening, I had like a moment where I was like, oh yeah, like this isn't just another episode. This is a movie I'm watching. Like, I had to remind myself.
Yeah. I mean, like, the fact that it is like part of the production pipeline does mean the production. It's like I said, like Shin Ultraman is like a movie, and there's like a.
This is an episode movie. This is a Toku movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it shot the same, but like you just tell that they had the
Right.
time and money to make things look very like clean. So
Yeah. It's funny because also like it's also 16:9 and not like widescreen.
Mm-hmm. What was the thing you were gonna say, Mel?
Oh, I was just. What was I gonna say?
I was talking about what was I talking about? Fuck. Brad, Vamp, alone.
I like it when the show / movie does gun action. I actually think that is something Blazar does well.
Yeah, it helps when the writer is a military otaku.
Yeah.
Oh, that does usually help. Yeah.
This of the shows you've seen so far, this is the one that's been like, this is a military show.
Yeah, there have been elements of this that feel like tactical, but not like in the Ghost in the Shell way, where I'm like, yeah, there's like a weird, lovingly crafted detail that's like trying to communicate things about the world, while also maybe bordering a little bit too much on like, okay, we're rubbing up against some weirdness here, but like it's never overwhelming or anything.
Is Blazar aggressive type?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's aggressive type.
Even the scientist, even Yasunobu is ripped.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a scientist type show.
Oh, I do like that the recap did take the time to show them playing with the toys.
Oh yeah, that was great.
In the strategy meeting, I forgot about that moment. What a great show. What a great part of that show.
The second episode of Blazar might be one of the best episodes of Ultraman.
I think that was from the third episode too. But yeah, the second episode.
It's like the early episodes of
like
firing missiles.
Second episode was specifically the recruitment one, and I think it wasn't until the third when they started actually having training exercises.
Oh yeah.
But I do love myself go around and assemble the team.
True.
Episode. It was good.
So yeah, Ultraman Blazar the movie is more Ultraman Blazar. No surprise there.
Yeah.
But it does kind of center the familial themes again
to the degree to which that is possible with this team, I guess.
Yes, it recenters the familial themes, by which I mean it focuses in on something that it isn't really there.
Yeah.
And so it comes away lacking. But because it comes away lacking, and because so much of our endgame Blazar conversation was about how much Gento is a bad dad, I was having a great time.
Yeah.
When every time Gento made a bizarre decision about his son, I was like, this is incredible. This is cinema.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm gonna say it's good.
It's not.
That's kind of where I'm at.
This is I would say it's competent.
I mean, listen.
I'd say it's competent.
Listen,
yeah.
we don't. The one thing we don't do is rank the shows on here, so you're freed from the burden of placing like a scientific value on how good it is.
Well, I think I've like between this and Arc, I really feel like I've settled on a place with Modern Ultraman where mostly my reaction to it is like I might enjoy it quite a bit at the time, but like it's not gonna stick.
Yeah.
You know, like there's gonna be some random moments where I'll be like, that was cool, or that was funny, but like this didn't hit me, you know.
we might have the one episode or here and there that's like stands out, but like, you know.
Yeah, like I like even beyond the silly shit that we always make fun of because it's ridiculous, or like bring up because it's ridiculous, not make fun of. But like the episode with not Emmy, Henri, where Henri goes to her hometown and like there's kind of like an awkwardness to it, and like they accidentally put the gun on top of the kaiju and they have to get like, you know, deal with it now. Like that's a good episode of TV, and like I enjoyed it and had a good time with it, but like there's not really anything there of substance that, like, you know, really struck me at my core, right? So, I don't know. That's been my reaction to the Blazar and Arc stuff so far, I'd say.
That is,
I'm having a good time watching it.
It is it's weird. I had plenty of I had like all my criticisms about like Blazer's structure in terms of like the plot and the Monster of the Week stuff interfering with each other, and you just got to pick one. Arc seems to have gone in a third way, which is you have huge plots show up and then maybe you resolve it instantly. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe that's just better because it's more classic.
It is it's a little more classic. But it
also feels
it's
weird.
Funny. It's funny that what feels like the main plot showed up and got resolved in episode like 13 or earlier.
Yeah. I guess we'll see how that turns out next week. Maybe.
We will. So yeah, I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah,
but
it definitely did feel like a better finale.
Yeah.
It's a better finale for Blazar. The Blazar is also a little unfortunate because I think the finale like Kaiju is way better. The actual like Kaiju stuff happening in the finale of Blazar is cool.
Like we
that
talk
Kaiju
about...
that's like trying to use the moon to travel to Earth so that it can wreck Earth.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All the Earth Kaiju rising up to fight the space Kaiju.
That's some good shit.
Obligatory shot of Del
fuck
Tando eating the bombs.
True. Yes, Del Tandle comes back. That's Del Tandle's special ability. Is its ability to just be in more episodes for some reason.
The funny thing is, he isn't even the Kaiju in the show with the most episodes.
What's the Kaiju in the show with the most episodes?
Gabalga.
Oh. I don't even remember what that one looks like. I did the Sorcerer, I don't remember what that one looks like.
Jeez. I guess this is a lot.
Are we done talking about the movie? Shall we move on?
What was it?
We're at an hour.
I think I was just gonna say that like the Kaiju, at least they try and make the Kaiju like thematically to the quote unquote themes, which is good.
Yeah, I quite like this Kaiju. I think it's a pretty decent Kaiju, and I think its connection to the actual like story is pretty good.
I think like a corpse chimera is a cool concept as well,
especially for like a final thing that's like
demonic
it's everything
carcass
coming together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do think it's funny that in the dad Ultraman, the hero Gento and Blazar end their story beating up a crying child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. They do technically do that.
They do that. It's not on the level of my thing about the ending of Nanoha Strikers, because Nanoha Strikers is so specific. It's so weird. And also there's gender happy because she's a girl, but she is the dad.
Yeah.
That's anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do we have some stuff?
Yeah, I got stuff because unlike Arc, I didn't do any trivia for Blazar.
Okay.
So I got to back. I got to run back the entire show, including this movie.
Okay. When you say that, I assume you have taken a kind of light touch.
Yeah, I'm gonna like. I wrote a lot, so I'm gonna like play by ear which ones I just don't talk about.
Okay. Go for it.
First of all, before we do that, color timers.
True.
There's 2 of them. A lot less than Rising. In the opening scene before the OP, it's 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and then the final battle with Gungilin, it's 10 minutes 55 seconds.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, "There's gonna be a long one." I could feel it.
So that's a long time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's health bar in this show.
True.
Yeah.
And of course, he went through his health bar stood up way better against the final boss.
True.
Somehow.
He did all the side quests between the last.
Oh, that's
episode
true.
Of the show
Another classic.
Yeah.
He got that thing in Ocarina of Time where the white like outline is around your health bar and you take half damage.
Guy who would rather do all the side quests than go see his kid.
Oh,
that's so Gento.
Jun, shut up! I'm playing Skyrim.
I'm doing the Assassin's Quest, the Assassin's Brotherhood.
Earthy is like, Gento, are you sure you want to go home? He's like, no, there's a heart container beside this behind this warehouse.
Absolutely.
All right, so first of all, I meant to do this early on and skipping the queue, but I forgot to. I gotta give the actors. So Gento Hiruma is played by Tomiya Harabino, who previously played Hart in Kamen Rider Drive. Teraraki Naruga is played by Yuki Ito, who previously played Magic Green in Magiranger. Ami Aobe is played by Himina Tsukiyama, who's done a lot of TV dramas. Bando Yamashinobu is played by that I think I did the names backwards. I was just copy pasting from originally. Whatever. He's played by Hayate Kajihara. He's an upcoming talent. Andre Minami is also played by Konami Naito, who is also upcoming talent. Apparently, she's playing a villain in Boom Boom Cha right now, I think. But I'm not. I'm behind on the show, so.
I hear Boom Boom Cha is good.
Yeah. Retsu Haruno is played by Masaya Kato, who's a major film actor. Sadako Hiruma is played by Maya Okano. Jun Hiruma is played by Haru Iwakawa, and presumably like 5 other people.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna be a long list.
I mentioned this before in Arc, but Blazar is voiced and is suit acted by Hideyoshi Iwatawa, who's been the main suit actor for Ultras for a long time.
Okay, so he does the voice. So presumably, this isn't true, but I'm going to assume that he rocked up and he started doing the noises on his own on set, and they were like, what the fuck is that? And they were like, those are the noises that Ultraman Blazar makes. And they were like, okay, we gotta get you in a booth. We gotta get you doing those noises.
I mean, he's also done some acting roles in the franchise previously, so, you know.
I see. I assume in those other acting roles he has words to say, and he's not just going, oi, 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 oi.
For this movie, we have Ichiro, who's played by Kyosuke Ida, who's done he plays some minor roles in King Oja and Godzilla -1. And then we got Yuki, played by Ritsuto Morishima. He's currently 13, but he previously played a Child of the Week in Ultraman Taiga, which is from 2019.
Did he also in a different episode play Jun?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, directors. The head director for the show, as we talked about, is Kiyotaka Taguchi. He also directed episode 1 to 3, 14 and 15, 24 and 25, and the movie. Takanori Tsujimoto directed episode 4 through 6, and 16 and 17. Kazuhiro Nakagawa did episode 7, 8, 22, 23. Tomonobu Koshi did episode 9, 10, 18, 19, 21. Masayoshi Takasu did episode 11, 12, 20. Ryuta Miyazaki did episode 13, which is the recap episode, which is funny. As for writers, the head writer is Keigo Koyanagi. He did episode 1 to 3, 14, 23 to 25. Jun Sugita did episode 4 through 6, and then 16 through 19. Taki Yamazaki did episode 7, 8. Sumio Uetaka, who we noted passed away during our show's run, did episode 9 and 10. Junichiro Ashiki did episode 11 through 13 and episode 22. Takao Nakano did episode 15 and the movie. And Toshizu Nemoto did episode 20 and 21. Also, Tomoaki Miwa is specifically the special director for the movie.
Okay. The writing. So, you mentioned on a recent Skipping the Queue that the Zangil episode in Arc, spoilers for Arc,
yeah,
rip, was written when the Zangil episode of Blazar was written.
Yeah, they had the script ready when the Zangil episode aired for Blazar.
Okay.
But they hadn't started filming it yet.
So was Blazar similarly as written in advance, or I guess they were writing the Zangil episodes together? No,
it was in advance, presumably.
Okay.
Which I'll get to in a time trivia.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay, so first of all, episode 1 was filmed entirely in Ikebukuro. Specifically, I think the impetus was, well, they're always filming stuff in Shibuya or stuff other parts of Tokyo, so we just wanted to film in Ikebukuro for the
Mix
change
it up.
pace.
Honestly, which I do appreciate because modern
Shinjuku.
Toku gets bad about that, and I know
Yeah.
part of that is because of like legal, like you can only film so many places reasons.
Yeah.
But
We are going to fight under this bridge.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, they were like, we get enough stuff filmed in Shibuya and Shinjuku, so I just wanted to film in Ikebukuro. This was the kind of opening episode that Taguchi wanted to do for a long time, of just like, oh yeah, there's like it's nighttime, you got a crazy kaiju battle going on, operation thing. The vibes in the first episode are definitely unique and cool.
yeah,
And also
it sets a tone.
he pitched the idea and everyone was pretty enthused. Everyone on the team was like, yeah, we should do that. Also, the episode, incidentally, came out on Eiji Tsuburai's 122nd birthday.
That's fun.
Bazanga was designed by Kengo Kusunoki. He originally designed the kaiju as far back as an OC. He originally designed the kaiju as an OC in 2007 under the name Evil Saurus. But then he joined Tsuburaya.
Nice. That's a good name.
He joined Tsuburaya in 2023, and he was like, hey, can I make this kaiju real? And they were like, yeah. Suit actor is Hiroyuki Arai. Going to episode 2, Getos was designed by Kisen, who is a kaiju artist with a Twitter account. You can go find that somewhere. And the suit actor is Kenji Kajikawa. Episode 3. Take note of this one, specifically because it was interesting for production timelines. This is the one where they're like doing the trading stuff and the monster growls and stuff like that. This episode was filmed on October 22nd, 2022, and it was one of the first episodes of Blazar to be shot. So that's where the production pipeline is.
That's ages ago. Hang on. Wait. What?
That was
Hang
before
on.
that's before we started the podcast.
This show. What the fuck?
Like,
What's going on with Ultraman? Why
They-
is
remember-
it's shot so far in advance?
remember, the show is done by the time they start airing, and they're already working
That's
on the next
crazy.
one. Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like that's probably better. Like especially
It's like
for
it's like my surprise is like
how far?
is mostly is more surprise than like admonition. It's
Yeah.
for
like
how long they're
I'm-
willing to hold on to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like wow. It's
yeah. Like they're filming like October 22nd is like in the middle of Decker's run, for instance. So
Now, I'm assuming this is partially because if something bad happens on one of these that pushes things back,
yes,
they
The-
need that time or else they're fucked.
yeah.
right?
They're basically taking advantage of the fact they only have to film a show for half the year to try and get it like all cleared up in advance, basically. Because otherwise you're doing the Toei thing where you're just doing things on the fly, which, you know, is a thing we've seen have problems in the show Ultraman stuff. Anyway,
it would have less. They would have less problems if they were normal. They would have less problems. They would have less
unfortunately,
problems
we live
with. They
under
would have
capitalism.
recast. They would have recast those characters instead of killing them.
yeah. Earth Garon, MVP.
True.
Voice actor Akira Ishida, who we may know as Atherin Zella and Kaoru from Evangelion. Suit actor is Shinosuke Ishikawa. I couldn't find the designer, but apparently some of the design, like obviously Garon looks like a giant dinosaur, but also the degree to which the design includes a bit of like dog-like elements, just because they were thinking like Blazeman is sort of like a caveman hunter, and they were thinking like, oh, he'd have a hound with him. It's, kind of,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you got that dog with them.
yeah.
You do.
Tagani Lara is designed by Kengo Kusunoki. Apparently took inspiration from the monsters in Space Sheriff Sherivan, which is interesting. The suit actor is Shun Takahashi. Also, I will note that whenever a kaiju appears, it seems like they just keep the same suit actor. So, like, when the kaiju appears in the movie and also in Arc, then they just have the same suit actor, which is interesting. So, like, Zangel's suit actor in Arc is the same one as in Blazar, for instance.
Okay, that's cool.
Episode 4, Liviera, designed by Tomo Hyakutake, who's a character designer, designed a episode director Sujimoto's request. Suit actor is Kenji Kajikawa. Apparently this episode was a tricky one because they were because this is a kaiju that like turned into a liquid and disappeared, and they were having trouble figuring that out, how to do that with like CG, so they used some like liquid somehow. So
they terminated it.
Yeah. Episode 5. I'm gonna copy paste this paragraph for you to read. You don't have to read it out loud, but there's they describe. Don't actually read it out loud because it'll take up time. But basically, like they describe like they had trouble doing the first person POV Gento transforms while falling off the mountain, falling off the kaiju shot, and so they were like, well, they figured out some way to do it like where they managed to get it look like transition seamlessly from a mountain shot on a phone to like a miniature kind of thing. I couldn't decipher what this paragraph is saying, but I'm just like, okay, that does sound cool. I'm not reading all that though. Dorgo was designed by, Tomio Hyakate. Apparently the goal for Dorgo was specifically to try and create a kaiju that evoked the design sensibilities of Ultraman 66. Suit actor is Hiroyuki Arai. Apparently this is Iwata, aka the Ultraman suit actor's favorite kaiju from the show. Also the scene where Dorgo drinks from the lake is like done with practical effects, which is cool. Episode 6. Giving a bit more love to this one because it's a good episode. Up to this point, Blazar had only been using new kaiju. Like, notoriously, I guess, for the show, like, they eschewed giving Blazar more forms specifically so he could get more kaiju. And so they actually had a directive like, oh, you have to make an episode with a returning kaiju, but that's all they got. So Tsuchimoto was like, this episode's director was like, well, that's a bit of a shame. But they found out they were already working on a redesign for Alien Kanon. It's like, oh, I got it. I want that. And then this is an insane line. Tsuchimoto used his experience as a dog owner to come to the conclusion that Yasunobu would talk to his washing machine like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Somehow, he also did not know that Yasunobu's actor was ripped like that.
Excellent.
It seems like he may have been intended to have his shirt off for longer in the scene. But then they're filming when it was cold, so then they got like Taguchi to cameo as an excuse to get Yasunobu to put his shirt on for a gag.
I see.
Anyway, Alien Kanon is the suit actors for specifically the one named Herbie is Satoru Okabe, and the one named Robbie is Yuto Nagiachi. And I mention that because they have names, and where they get the names from, they both get the names from I, Robot by Isaac Asimov.
I see.
Episode 7.
Not the movie I, Robot.
No Will Smith here.
No Will Smith.
Episode 7 and 8, the two-parter, Nikikagachi. Apparently the original plan was for the fight between the Blazar and the Kaiju to be in the middle of the storm itself, but that was hard, so they fought in the eye of the storm instead. They also tried to make the fighting style kind of like, oh, this is a martial artist versus a sumo wrestler kind of thing. Anyway, check out Brad's VOD where he played Virtual Fighter Lice today. There's a scene where they show off Garon's new form with like a backlighting. That's specifically an homage to the special effects director Kawakita in his Heisei-era kaiju movies. Apparently, the line where Teraraki asks for the autograph was kept in because they're like, oh, we need a little bit of levity. Speaking of really good trivia, in my opinion, in the final conversation where you have Gento and Teraraki chilling on the farm, doing some work, and Gento gives Teraraki a ramune bottle. Apparently, before they started filming, Warabino, Gento's actor, shook the bottle to prank Teraraki's actor. And he was hoping he would open the bottle, but then Teraraki didn't actually open the bottle at all during the scene. And then after Warabino was originally like, well, I guess it's good that we didn't have to reshoot because my prank didn't work. Nijikagachi was designed by Shomamoto, and suit actor is Kenji Kachikawa. Its name literally means Rainbow Snake God. Then we get episode 9, which is the cool one. This was another designated old kaiju episode, which also meant the team had a lot of creative freedom. Director Koshi was like, I want to do a music-themed episode, because I just wanted to do that for, like, ever. And then he was like, yeah, I'm going to use a Garamon for this, so he did. Apparently the head musician, because I think we talked about before, like, they're actual musicians, and they hired them. When he recomposed the new Ultra Q theme, he's specifically emulating the style of Argentinian composer Astor Piazzolla. Apparently the Cicada Man spaceship prop that they use from Ultra Q is usually on display at at a restaurant Subaraya owns, but then they borrowed it for this episode.
Oh, so that's the OG?
It might be, yeah, I think so.
Nice.
There's also a cheeky line where, like, when Henry meets them the first time going on a jog, the musicians call themselves semi-pros, but there's a pun that's lost in translation from English to Japanese, because apparently in Japanese, the Japanese name for this cicada people is semi-ningen, so it's like a little pun on the fact that, like, the...
I see.
Guys. Also, apparently, originally, Henri's actress was a bit, like, wishy-washy on whether she wanted to do the scene where she shot the guy in the arm, and they thought about whether to do an alternative, but in the end they just went with the arm shooting thing. So the alternative endings they considered were like Henri would follow them off stage and they're already gone, or they would have the mothership show off and blast them like an Ultra Q.
Oh.
But in the end they were like, you know what, I think it's just cooler to just have like an end with a curtain call and leave it like open.
I do think that was probably the better choice.
Yeah, I think it's just vibes based, just a much cooler episode for doing it that way. And then Garamon in this episode, suit actor is Miyu Sekiya. Sorry. Episode 10 is the one with the kaiju and the baby kaiju, where we actually meet Gento's kid for the first time. 10 episodes of the show. Apparently, it was noted that by people, including the episode director, that this episode has a similar plot to 1993's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And the Kaiju Damaga suit actor is by Kenji Kachikawa. Episode 11 to 12. Apparently, they cut a scene where Scarred asked Gento how Blazar's hand felt, and he said it was slimy. Gibalga, the kaiju, was designed by Tetsuo Kawaishi, who also storyboarded this two-parter. The suit actor is Shun Takahashi. The original plan is for Gibalga as a rolling attack to be done through like wires of puppetry. That it turns out Takahashi could just roll like that, and so like, yeah, I guess we'll just let him do that. Saves us some equipment. Episode 14, the first fight against El Tandil. This is the first fight, apparently, to have in the entire Ultra series to have a continuous single take shot that goes straight from henshin to aerial combat. Seems like it's hard to do.
That's such a weirdly specific thing.
That's a really specific thing.
First episode of Ultraman ever, where Ultraman fights a kaiju on his head and then does a handstand.
Yeah.
Designed by Kengo Kusunoki, who took inspiration from apparently the triangular UFOs seen during the 1989 Belgian UFO wave, which I didn't know existed.
There is a period of my life where I was like young and really into that shit. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, maybe you're just not a real fan.
No, I probably was not.
Modeling was done by Takahiko Waki. It says on the Ultraman Wiki the suit actor is Yuto Nagachi, but I don't know to the degree that was, because it also seems like Del Tandil is mostly a puppet, so I'm not sure how that worked out, but he was doing something. Episode 15, Taguchi originally wanted to do a story. This is a Gavin episode, by the way. I think we talked about this, but Taguchi originally wanted the story to be about a kid whose friend died from a car accident, and Gavidon was his last memento, and so like the pain and struggle of like, do I tear up this drawing to save people from the kaiju if it's my friend's memento? And then he was like, actually, that's pretty bleak. I don't think I want to do that. Also, unlike the original episode, they legally couldn't get permission to have Gavidon drawn on public property as graffiti. So that's why they went with like the tent, the kids in the tent, with a secret place instead. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like chalking, just...
No, you can't. No, it's no good.
So stupid.
30 on 30. Gavidon suit actor is Hiroyuki Arai. Episode 16, Megfusion. Last Seen Arc. Designed by episode director Takanori Sugimoto. Pseudo actors Hiroyuki Arai. Yeah, apparently the roar consists of various mixes of various Toho and Tsuburaya kaiju. Episode 17, Zangil-sama. Also designed by episode director Takanori Sugimoto with the pseudo actor Satoru Okabe. Episode 18 to 19, Urigo, which is like the larval form of Gabalga, the worm guys. Designed by Tetsuo Kawaishi, same as Gabalga. Pseudo actor Shun Takahashi. This might sound familiar from the Galgalga incident. They were originally going to also do Urigo by puppeteering by wires, but Takashi stuck his arm inside and puppeteered it like a hand puppet. Which means that the filming crew was like, well, sure, we'll do that, but now we gotta, like, be careful with the cameras to make sure we just don't see you on camera. So that's funny. Using compositing and basically the angles of buildings to, like, hide his body.
Mm-hmm.
Also, apparently, the on-site production crew also gave, like, nicknames to each of the Urigo heads attached to the Rude Gabalga suit. Which I'll not give, but, you can find it. I think it's cute. Also, the other kaiju introduced in the episode is the one I forgot in the sorter.
Okay.
Which is Ferdran, the CGI phoenix that Blazar gets his sword from.
Oh, that's... Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you where that comes on my list.
We'll talk about it later. Designed by... Okay, this one was funny to me. The wiki says it's designed by Masayuki Goto and also Bandai.
And Bandai designed that one.
Seemingly Blazar's armor was designed first, and then the kaiju itself was adapted from that design. Episode 20. Zuhugen, who shows up at the start of this movie next to Ganular. This is the Teraraki goes back to his dad episode. Designed by Masayuki Goto, suit actor Hiroki Arai. Episode 22. Red King, suit actor Hiroki Arai. Guiges, suit actor Kenji Kajikawa. Apparently, this is the first time in Ultraman history where Guiges actually fought an Ultraman.
Oh.
Which is funny to me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That took a while.
Yeah. You know, it's about 60 years or something. Don't worry about it. Then we got Gang Kiryu, who for some reason I did put in this order, which is like
I'm mad that they spelled Gigas like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. There's some weird romanization decisions.
Why? Like, it's clearly the Greek thing. Why would you spell it Guigas? What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean like Hydra?
Yeah, like Hydra.
Yeah.
Graphical user interface gas.
Yep.
But yeah, Gang Kiryu is the kaiju that shows up in the commercial. The insurance commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, if I remember correctly, it was a suit reused from a Taguchi short film. Because Dorako does not appear in this episode, unlike Red King and Guiges, they used Dorako's roar instead for this kaiju as a homage to the Sweet One episode.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find who designed Gang Kiryu because it was not an Ultraman thing. But the suit actor is Shota Yakura. For some reason, that is in this order because I thought it'd be funny, even though he's just a guy in a suit. Finally, episode 12, where I somehow have more notes than the movie itself, but also there's overlap. Apparently, Taguchi was like, the things are scary post-COVID and all the conflicts in the world. That's why we decided to do things differently by resolving with dialogue rather than have the humanity and Ultraman unite to fight the alien invaders.
That's not true. That's not true. You didn't do that. What are you talking? Wait, what episode is this?
25, the finale.
That's not true.
They said future.
No,
they
you had a big fight.
They said future and they left.
But then you had a big fight.
No,
you cheated. I know you cheated. You're trying to slip an ace from up your sleeve into your hand, and you're really bad at card tricks. I'm watching you do it.
Be nice to people in other countries.
You're getting 3-card Montied by Subaraya Productions.
Yeah.
I am not. I'm pulling a gun on him at the card table.
Taguchi also thinks that a lot of things in Blazar are like franchise experiments they haven't done before. I'll be curious to see how we feel about that as we get further in the franchise. Because I'm a bit like, I can see what you mean, but also I think maybe you're stroking yourself a bit.
Maybe you're talking a little bigger than you deserve.
I feel like that. Okay. Like it, even some of like the, because I'm assuming a lot of this trivia, were you pulling a lot of this from like the social media or like stuff they've said? And
I was pulling it from the Ultraman wiki, which presumably was doing it from the social media,
okay.
and also maybe like BD interviews.
A lot of the little notes and stuff that they felt the need to share then, which I'm assuming most of the source stuff is coming from like stuff they've put out as like,
Yes.
hey, here's fun stuff as like we're putting the show out.
Yes.
Like feels like stuff that like is for the diehard super fans
Yes.
that like a general audience are not going to pick up on at all.
Yes.
And that perspective also too feels like maybe this might be very different if you've been watching a lot of this shit, but like from a distance I am a little bit curious, like how different is it actually?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see when we get closer to the later stuff.
Because not to get too ahead of ourselves, but I'm like, Blazar the Ultraman does feel pretty unique, for instance. But Takuchi also says like the V99 conspiracy thing is like also, oh, this is different. I'm like, maybe from what the stuff we've seen is a bit different, but also I don't know how true that is if we get the franchise going further. Like, it's not like there's other peoples who don't think about conspiracies, for instance. So, we'll see.
It doesn't feel like that radical of a departure from the formula in the like grand scheme.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We're rewriting the history of Ultraman from like Super Eye's propaganda perspective. This overlaps with the next section, which I don't have as much on, but apparently the filming for the finale overlapped with the filming of the movie. So the scene in the intro where they're fighting the Ganular in like the pipe maze or whatever was done at the same time they were filming the final episode. And in fact, the scene where like Gento's looking up at Blazar and Blazar tells him we'll go, and the finale is the same location. Like they were just there.
Okay.
Also fun trivia from that scene is like they were filming that scene and Gento was like crying, and meanwhile, somewhere like off camera, Emmy and Omni's actresses were finished rehearsals and were playing around snapping selfies, and Gento's actors just thinking to himself, "Damn, I wish they did this somewhere else, please."
I'm trying to cry here.
I'm trying to act in the finale. Verilon is designed by Kengo Kusunoki, suit actor Yoshiki Kuwabara. Now for the movie, which I don't have as much on. Apparently there was a plan to include a certain redacted from Ultraman Z, which is Takuchi's previous Ultraman series. But then they were like, I don't think this is going to work out. So they dropped it, which I think is for the best. And then Gon Gilgan is designed by Shomamuto, who also worked on the movie storyboarding, and the suit actor is Kenji Kawajikawa. And that is the end of the entire Blazar trivia.
Okay. Alright. What else do we do on this podcast? We have emails.
So Kaiju sorting, and then we do emails.
Oh, should we do Kaiju sorters? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I call that we do a top 5? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if
It's
I have
7 p.m.
I mean, we could do bottom 1 and top 5. I like to get the.
Let me find my sorter. Yeah, we can do that.
Because I feel like I think it's nice to get the bottom
My least favorite is easy. It is Deltandle.
Lamau.
He was pretty low for me.
Because of, I was just like, lol,
overexposure.
Deltandle's here again.
Yeah,
Get out of
same.
here.
The repeated appearance really hurt him for me.
Like, I do think Deltandle is conceptually pretty cool, but he does show up a bit. Like, I do dedicate
way too fucking much.
Yeah. Was your lowest, Brad?
Gigas.
Mine was also Gigas.
It just
Damn,
doesn't look good.
no respect for a classic.
No.
Listen, I didn't respect it in 66 either.
I have Gigas at 23 out of 24.
My 23 is
the Phoenix would have come at 22 probably.
Yeah, the Phoenix probably would have been
between.
Not a fan.
I don't care about the Phoenix really.
All right,
my
5.
My 5 is Gabalga.
My 5 is Garamon.
My 5 is also Garamon.
A lot of Brad Mel resonance today.
Yeah.
Garamon I only have at 6. Gavalga beat it out. And there's some kings at the top here. Speaking of, number 4, Red King.
My number 4 is Kanan.
My number 4 was Cicada Man.
Damn.
My Cicada Man was 7.
I don't know where I was at 10. I quite like some of the kaiju here. Number 3, Varalon. I like the big bad. I like this kaiju.
He was pretty good. I had a lot lower, but yeah. My number 3 is Blazar, because it's a fucking cool-ass Ultraman.
Yeah, Blazar was 6 for me. I think Blazar might be my favorite design we've gotten, like we've experienced so far. I really like the red and the blue.
This asymmetry is
dynamic.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, the asymmetry. It's very good. My number 3, Earth Garon. He's a friend.
Nice. What was your 3, Mel? Oh, Blazar.
Yeah.
Right, yes. My number 2, Zangil Sama.
Do you know what my number 2 is?
What's your number 2?
Gomenasai! Zangil-sama.
My name is Zangil Sama.
He was number 7 for me. I like him a lot.
He's good.
My number
2.
My number 2 was Zuzagan. Which I don't feel like that episode really stuck with me, but the longer I look at this thing, I'm like, yeah, this is just a cool looking motherfucker.
It's a cool bug with
I
like
this design.
baby bugs.
Yeah.
My number 1, I feel like it's predictable.
I wonder if
I have been Garon gang from the beginning, is Earth Garon.
Yeah. My number 1 is also Earth Garon.
My number
Hell
1 is
yeah.
Gavadon.
Oh, you little guy pilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm extremely little guy pills.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
probably Brad's most enduring trait.
Paul, Alien Paul, number 1.
You got a little fucking Scrumblos going to the top of the list.
Absolutely.
I want to lay on Gavadon. Like, it's so comfy.
You want a big pill, Gavadon? They probably sell Gavadon pillows.
There's no fucking way they
if
do
they
that.
If they don't, I have an idea to fix Super Aya's budget problems.
This is from the account Crazy Ass Moments in Ultraman History. Look at it.
Oh yeah, they did. I remember they did like make a pillow. I think also they either they made it or re-released it around the time the episode aired for Blazar.
Yes, this is perfect.
It's only $62.23.
It's time.
It's time. It's time. That is our kaiju rankings. There
Yes,
were other
finally,
kaijus, but
after 10 months after Showdown.
so long. Some of
Yes.
these, I was like, I'm seeing these kaiju for the first time. I do not remember these motherfuckers.
Looking forward to do it again for Arc.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Do we have any emails about Ultraman Blazar the movie?
Yeah, first.
Tokyo Kaiju Showdown.
First,
Tokyo Showdown.
My friend Katia did send me through DMs her kaiju ranking, so I'll just give her top 3, which are Bazanga,
Okay.
Earth Garon, and Ultraman Blazar, 3-1.
Hell yeah!
And we got one email by Cross.
I can't believe there's a kaiju called Bazanga. Still can't.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones in the show too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we got a short one from Cross Zeta.
Go for it.
Hello there, Ultra Pod. Cross Zeta here. Damn, Gento would rather spend time with someone else's kid than helping his kid out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, I do find this a better ending to the show than its actual ending. Found it really funny. There was a 10-minute recap at the start of the movie. Hope you all enjoy the movie. Hope the Arc movie releases in a more timely manner. And have a good week.
Thank you. We also hope the Arc movie will be released in a more timely manner, but we're prepared this time.
I hope it takes longer. I want like
You want a 2-year gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast is your child.
Oh, I don't like that.
No. That's wow. What a child to have.
Yeah.
Thank you for your email.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we have any more
Nope,
emails?
no one else.
Wow. Oh, you know what? Sick. We're fucking done. We finished Blazar at
Finally.
last. It took us
Super done.
forever.
we're
It took us so fucking long.
well, technically, you know, we were not on our part. There was just a big hiatus.
Yeah, it was taking like every month. It was like Silk Song delays was what was happening.
But
repost this to delay Silk Song.
Judd walks up at the end of the episode. Dad, Silk Song is gonna take another year.
All right. Join us next week for some more Ultraman. That will be 3 more episodes of Taro. And wait, did we pledged to do Arc? Didn't we?
Yes.
Well, I suppose that is what I pledged. That is what we pledged. So I guess that's what we're doing.
We definitely did it so we wouldn't have to do it during the holidays.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
That is sensible. I will feel good about this once we get done with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have 4 more episodes.
so yeah.
17 to 20.
4 more episodes of Arc, 3 more episodes of Taro, and that will be us next week. I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, goodbye, Blazar.
Goodbye, Blazar.
Yeah, we'll never see you again.
Never.
Yeah, much like Gento and his children. We're walking off into the sunset. We're rattling the bracelets, going, we're podcasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Do we plug?
Oh fuck. Twitter Blue Sky @ultra_QUEUE @ultra_QUEUE Mal.
At your crowns on Twitter and Blue Sky for me. ultrapod@gmail.com for the podcast. Email. ultrafund for the coffee. Brad.
I'm everywhere. Be Invoked. You can find it. It's not that hard. I've been streaming, so check that out on my YouTube.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vile.
We might do
Remember
Abyss.
last week when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Elden Ring?
Yeah.
I was
And
listening.
then they announced a new co-op Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that game. That game looks like dog shit. I'm gonna be real.
I'm hyped for it, but
Oh damn.
Brad,
No,
I
it couldn't be me.
platinumed Babylon's Fall. I'm excited for it.
yeah.
True, so true. All right, we're still talking for some reason. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Later.
「さす光が希望を そうなれ